Hello guys, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. Let's wait for 5 more minutes. Let other people also join the session so that we can start. Okay? Yes, good afternoon everyone. Hello, hi everyone guys. Only few people have joined the session. Guys, in the previous session I have kept you the quiz link, right? So everyone joined and everyone completed that quiz or not? Yes, good afternoon everyone. So everyone completed that quiz or not? Have explained like have gave you link to attend the quiz. Sakshi, didn't you attend it on that day? The day I have kept quiz link. Have you attended or not? Okay. So I got to know that you people have not attended the quiz. The names, the guys who attended the quiz, the names of those people have not came. Like the people who have registered for the EL program. Okay, those people have not attended the quiz. Even single person have not attended. So I got to know that nobody has attended this quiz. So it is informed that I have to conduct today also. Conduct that quiz today also. At the end of the session, I'll be giving you. So in the last half an hour, I'll be giving you that quiz. Okay. Everyone, please try to finish that quiz. Okay. And also, there are only 31 members now. Yes, it's fine, Sakshi. So there are only 31 members now, and it is also 10 minutes. Let's wait for 5 more minutes, guys, to join the people. What topics we have covered yesterday? Have any idea, guys, what topics we have covered yesterday? Triggers. Okay. One minute. 1 minute, guys. I'll be sharing my screen. Yes, Pranit, triggers and DMLs have completed before only. Before triggers, I have completed the DMLs. After DMLs, I have started the triggers. Correct? Everyone remembered. Okay. Everyone remembered this image. Everyone. Okay. So if everyone got an idea on triggers, how many trigger events we have? Let's start the concepts in 5 minutes, guys. But before that, so people have not came yet. So let me ask some questions for you guys. After 5 minutes, let's start the session. Okay? How many trigger events are there before triggers and after triggers? Okay, nice. So, yes, good afternoon. What are the DML statements we have? Like, what are the DML operations we can perform on records? How many DML operations we have? 7 events, Pranit. 7 events. Before update, before insert, before delete, and after insert, after update, after delete, and after undelete. Those 7 are called events. Okay. Now I'm asking about how many DML operations are there. Revati, not 7. Insert, update, upsert, delete, and undelete. Yes, these are correct. Insert, update, upsert, delete, undelete. We have 5 DML operations, but using Apex, we cannot make undelete operation. Okay, that should be done by manual process. Okay, only the 4 DML statements are available. What are those? Insert, update, upsert, and delete. Okay, so undelete is an operation but that we cannot perform using Apex. It is a manual operation. Understand? There are only 4 DML statements. And let me ask you things. So, why before triggers are used? At what situations before triggers? We'll go with the before triggers. At what situations we'll use before triggers rather than after triggers, guys? Yes, before saving, what operations you'll do? What kind of operations you'll do? Before triggers in the sense, before saving the record into database. Modify values and validate values. Okay. So when you will use after triggers, for what kind of operations you will use after triggers? At what kind of situations we will use after triggers, guys? Create and update. Okay. What is this access? Create and update is a correct thing, but what is this access? Can we check if it was properly saved or not? No, Pranit. Before triggers, when we will use before triggers is if you want to validate the data before saving the record into the database, then we will use before triggers. So when we use after triggers are, so whenever we want to perform action and related records, whenever we want to create a related records, see whenever we want to create a related contact record for an account, so in such cases we will be going with the after triggers, because when we want to create account, when we want to create related contact for the account should be saved first, correct? Account record should be saved first. After saving the account record, you should create contact record. So that is called after triggers. When it is before triggers, before saving the record into database, we need to perform some operations. What are those operations? Validating the data, validation rules. So those can be performed when you want to, when the record is, before the record is saved to the database. Okay. So this is the difference between before triggers and after triggers, guys. Understood enough? Guys, understood enough? Main difference is not a validation, Pranit. Uh, we can check if it's okay. The main difference is the operations that you are doing. Okay. Just think, if you want to validate the data after saving the record, can you validate that? No, right? After saving the data, you can't validate the data. Correct? So at that moment of time, you should go with the before triggers only. You can do it with the after triggers also. After saving the record, you can query that record and also you can update. You can validate that data. That's not a problem. After also you can do, but the best practice to do is before triggers. Correct. After saving the data, you can't validate it at the time of creation. Correct. So at that particular situation, you'll go with the before triggers. When you go with the after triggers, after in the sense the name itself suggests that after triggers, after saving the record into database. What you will do after saving the record, if there is any post, if there are any post requests, like um, if you want to create a related record, related contact record, or else if you want to if you want to send an email to that person, at that particular times, you need to create a after triggers. You need to go with the after triggers. Correct. So these are very simple differences, guys. So I have a scenario. Whenever you are creating a record, the owner field is not editable, right? You can't access to the owner field, a record owner field. Whenever you are creating an account record, you can't access to the account owner field, correct? That is the read only field. But I want to update the owner. What I can do now? Which type of trigger I can take? Before trigger or after trigger? I want to change the I want to change the owner of the I if you know I want to change the owner of the account record. Okay, what type of trigger I need to use here? Guys, think at the time of creation, owner field is read only. We cannot edit that. Cannot edit at the time of creation. But but I want to change the owner name. How can I change? Type of trigger I need to use here? Guys, can you answer or not? DMLs only, Pranit. DMLs only. In what type of triggers you will use DMLs? First, you should choose the trigger, right? First, you should choose the type of trigger that you are going to use. After choosing that, you need to use a DML. First, what type of trigger you are going to choose? That was the question. See, that is a system generated field. At the time of creation, you can't access that because you can't, meaning you can't edit that. But I want to change the owner of the record. Correct. So, at what time? Before save or after save? Before triggers or after triggers? We'll use DML only. We can use DML. Not can use DML. We should use DML. But when? Before save or after save? Guys, just tell me whether it can be done before save or after save. That's it. Okay, guys, leave that question. Let's just move into the session. Okay, just search for that. If you got an answer, let me know. So there is a trigger best practices. Wait, see what is a trigger? A trigger is a piece of Apex code that runs automatically when specific events happens to records in the databases. Okay, whenever the specific event is happening for that record in the database, we'll be using a will be that Apex code will be running automatically in the background. Okay, it gives more control than declarative tools like flows. Even when we are using flows, we can't get that control over. Okay, so it will give more control rather than flows. Okay, unlike flows, it will give more control over our code. Okay, how does it works then? It listens to the changes and runs before or after the change occurs. Okay, it listens to the changes. So now you guys should listen to the changes that I have to do. I have to change the owner of my record. I have to change the owner of my record. So see, it listens to changes and runs before or after the change occurs. Correct. Before or after the change occurs. So when it should run, when the code should run, before save or after save. So you guys should analyze that. Okay. So analyze that and let me know when you got the answer. Okay. When you got the answer, let me know. I'm not going to tell the answer now. Okay. Research that. For example, before insert, code runs before the record is saved to the database. Okay, this we have already discussed. Before update, after update. Code runs after the record is updated. After the record is saved to the database. Instead of updated, we can say save it to the database. Okay. So now, why triggers? Why we need to use triggers? More control over logic. We'll get a more control over logic. Complex or cross object updates. Okay. When we want to go with the complex or cross object updates, we'll go with the triggers and automatic updates or validations. When you want automatic updates or validations, you will go with the triggers. Backend automation without user interaction. When you need backend automation without user interaction, at that moment of time, you guys will go with the triggers. Okay. Now there are types of triggers. What are the types of triggers? Before triggers and after triggers. Correct? Before triggers run, before the record is saved to the database. Right? When to use? To modify values of the record that is being inserted or updated. Okay. And the next one is to validate data before it committed to the database. Okay. When we'll use after triggers, guys, for that question I gave, you'll get the answer if you listen this carefully. Okay. For the question, for that question, if you listen if you listen this single slide carefully, you'll get the answer, guys. When you'll use before triggers to modify the values of the record, okay, that is being inserted or updated. and to validate data before it gets committed into database. These are for before triggers. When will we use after triggers? After triggers run after the record is committed to the database. Once the record is committed to the database, cannot roll back. And see here when to use. When you need perform operations, when you need to perform operations on related records. When you need to perform operations on related records. And the next one is when you want to access fields that are set by system. When you want to access fields that are set by system. Okay. Access fields that are set by system. So now, anyone got the answer now? So there are trigger context variables. Okay, context variables. So those are trigger.old, trigger.new, trigger.old map, okay, trigger.new map, dot is insert, is update, is delete, and is undelete. Okay. Yes, Pranit, you are correct. Account owner is a field. So we use after triggers because account owner is a system. Owner is the field that is set by the system, right? We are not we are not creating that field and we are not filling that field manually. It is system generated field. So that for changing that field, for updating that field, we'll go with the after insert. Okay, good. So there are trigger context variables, trigger.old, new, and these are all trigger context variables. Okay, so trigger.new and trigger.old, these will return the list. Okay, so what trigger.new will return? List of new version of records. Okay, list of new version of records that are being inserted or updated. Trigger.new is returning the list of records, new version of records that are being inserted or updated. Okay. Then what trigger.old is doing? List of old version of records that are before the update or delete operation. Okay. What trigger.old is returning? Returning the list of old version of records that before the update or delete operation. Okay. So now here see if you can see here, this is before insert, after insert, before update, after update, before delete, after delete. There will be no before delete, guys. Okay. There is only before and delete. Okay. Sorry, not before and delete. There won't be before and delete. Okay. There will be only after and delete. Okay. Before and delete in the sense that the record is the existing record. Okay. So now tell me what you have understood about this. Trigger.new in the sense new version of records. Before insert, there will be a new version of records. Correct? Whatever the records are inserting now, those are called new version of records. As it returns a list, before insert records, new version of records will be there at before insert. And after insert also, there will be a new version of records. Correct? And before update. Before update in the sense, what before update means? Trigger.new will be there because new version of records before update is the existing records. Correct? After update new version in the sense the created records, correct? So now the delete. Before delete, before delete, there won't be the new version of records, right? And also there won't be the after after delete, there won't be the new version of records. Those are there in the recycle bin, correct? After undelete, new version of records will be present in the their respective objects itself. Okay, so it is present. Let's go to trigger.old. When it is before insert, old version won't be there. After insert, old version won't be there because there are newly created records. Of before update or after update, old version will be there. Before update, the existing records are old version records. After update, the existing records are old version records. Okay, so delete. Old after deleting. So before deleting, the existing records are all called old version, right? So after deleting also, the existing records in the recycle bin are known as the old version of records, right? Before deleting, the records will be present in the respective objects itself. So those are called old version of the records. After deleting, those records will be present in the recycle bin, right? Those are new version of old version of the records only, correct? So after undeleting, the records are not present in the recycle bin, right? They will be present in their respective objects, correct? So there won't be old version of undeleted records, correct? Same like trigger.new, trigger.old, trigger.new map and trigger.old map also. Okay, but the difference is it returns list. Trigger.new and trigger.old returns list. But trigger.new map and trigger.old map returns map. Okay, so it is a map of IDs to the new version of records that are currently being inserted or updated. Old map is nothing but map of IDs to old version of records before the update or delete operation. Okay, so how it is? Before trigger.new map, before insert, or before inserting, there won't be the ID for that record, correct? After inserting into the database, the ID will be generated. So in the map, trigger.new map, the key value is the key is ID, correct? But the ID is not generated yet. So trigger.new map doesn't have before insert records. After insert, the records which are created is known as new version of the records. Okay. Before update and before after update, new version will be there, old version will be there. See here, before insert, old version also will not be there. Okay, new version also will not be there. Because why new version is not there? Why new version, old version is not there after insert? Because it is the first insertion. Okay, and same for before update, after update. Whenever it is before update, the new version will be there. Okay, because the existing records are trigger.new map only. And for after update, the existing records are the created records are the new version of records. Okay, so after trigger.old map, after before update, before updating the records, those are the already existing are the old version of records. Already after update also, already existing are the old version of records. Okay. Same for delete and same for update or undelete as like returns list only. Trigger.new and trigger.old as like trigger.new and trigger.old. Same for delete operation and undelete operation. Trigger.old map and trigger.new map. Okay. So some common best practices for triggers guys. We should create only one trigger per one object. Okay. Creating many triggers is not a best practice. Okay. It is not a best practice. So we have to create only one trigger per one object. Use handler class for logic. So writing whole logic in the trigger is not best practice. So like following a handler class for every trigger is best practice. Okay. For every method, for every logic, using a handler class is a best practice. Okay. Keep trigger logic minimal. So trigger logic should be minimal, not a very complex logic. If there are any complex logics, you should not be performed on the triggers. Okay. The logic for triggers should be very minimal, and always bulkify the code. Bulkification in the sense, use loops, sets, maps and all. Okay. Always bulkify the code. And after that, never use DML or SOQL inside a loop. Okay. Never use DML statements or SOQL queries inside a loop, because inside if you write DML statements or SOQL queries inside a loop, what happens is we have a limited DML statements. Also, SOQL queries, we have a limited DML statements and SOQL queries. Let's take DML statements. We have only 150 DML statements. Okay, we have only 150 DML statements. Now, if you put on loop that DML statement and the loop iterates 200 times, see, the loop iterates 200 times and you have written the DML statement inside the loop and we have only 150 DML statements, you will be thrown an exception. Okay, your code will not be run. Your code will get a exception. What exception? Limit exception. Number of DMLs exception. Okay, because the number of DMLs are completed. Okay, so 150 DMLs have been completed. Whenever the loop is running over 151th time, you people will get the exception. Okay, so that you can't use, you don't use DMLs and SOQL queries inside a loop. Okay, you can use, but the best practice is not using. Okay, so add error handling. Try catch blocks. Okay, use try catch blocks for error handling, because it is easy to handle the errors present in the code. Okay, write test classes for coverage. For code coverage, you need to write a test classes. That is, these are all about best practices, guys. Okay, apex testing or trigger testing. How to do apex testing? Apex provides a testing framework that allows you to write unit tests. Apex allows you to write unit tests. Okay. Who performs the unit test? Developer will perform the unit test. So whoever are writing the code, that developer should perform the unit tests. Okay. Run your tests, check test results, and have code coverage results. Okay. So unit tests must cover at least 75% of your Apex code. Okay. It must cover 75% of your Apex code. Otherwise you cannot deploy that code into the production. Okay, and all of those tests must complete successfully. So those should complete successfully. Okay, use unit tests. Unit tests are class methods that verify whether a particular piece of code is working properly or not. Okay, why these unit tests are used? To verify whether a particular piece of code is working correctly or not. Okay, to deploy Apex code from sandbox to production org, we will use this Apex testing and trigger testing. Okay, so that is about best practices and testing in Apex testing. Now, what to test in Apex? We can test single action, bulk actions, positive scenarios, negative or restricted scenarios. We can check all these kind of scenarios. Okay. So there is a note here. Unit test methods take no arguments, commit no data to the database, and sends no emails, and does not perform REST callouts. So whatever you are performing on a unit tests, okay, whatever you are performing on unit test, it doesn't commit data to the database. If you are inserting records to the database, it will not commit to the database. If you insert using test classes, it is just for the test purpose only. Okay, it doesn't commit to the Salesforce database. Okay, and also you cannot access the database records from test classes. Okay, and it doesn't send any emails. If you perform also, it doesn't send any emails, and it doesn't perform REST callouts. Okay, and unit test methods must be defined in test classes. That is, classes annotated with @istest. If it is a test class, it must be annotated with @istest. Okay, and the default access level in Apex is private. So whenever you didn't give the access modifier for class, so the default access modifier for Apex is private. Okay, the testing framework can always find the test methods and execute them regardless of their access level. So even though the classes have access level private, but the testing framework will access those private methods also, private classes also, and execute them. Okay, it doesn't follow the access level. Okay, so test method should static and return type should be void. Test method always with a static. Test method always should be a static, and return type should be void. So how can you write the test method? Public static void method name. Okay, it should always be static and return type should be void. And Apex testing. Apex provides a testing framework that allows you to write unit test, run your test, check your results, and have code coverage results. Okay, why you need to write Apex test? Why tests are needed to write? For test classes, unit testing. For unit testing, developer needs to do a unit testing before sending it to a QA. Okay, developer needs to perform unit testing. Developer needs to perform unit testing. 1 second. Okay guys, whenever you are performing, like whenever you are writing a code, developer is writing a code, developer should write a unit test. Okay, developer should do a unit test before pushing it to the QA. Okay, before pushing it to the QA, and also that unit test should cover 75% of that unit test should give 75% of code coverage. Okay, after that 75% of code coverage, the developer will send that unit test to the QA, the code to the QA, and QA will test if it is perfect. QA will send it to the UAT. Okay, and if that passes on UAT also, it will send to the production. Otherwise, it will be rolled back to the developer itself. Okay, unit test must cover at least 75% of your Apex code, and all of those tests must complete successfully. Okay, every test must complete successfully. Understand? So, what is test data? We cannot access the Salesforce org data in test classes. So we need to create our own test data. Okay, we cannot access org data in test classes. We need to create it manually in each test class for testing. Okay, we need to create that manually in each test class for testing. So we cannot access the Salesforce data. And there is a method called test setup method. For testing purpose, we need to create a test data in test classes. Where we need to create a test data in test class, right? So whenever you are writing a test data, whenever you are creating a test data, you should use @test setup annotation. If you use @test setup annotation, you can use that data. You can use that data everywhere in the test class. Okay, data generated in test setup annotated class will be persisted for use in every test method within the test class. Okay, when an error is generated in the test setup method, then the entire test class fails. Okay, method marked with @test setup annotation executes before any test method. Data created in the method does not need to be created again and again. So whenever you created some data in the test setup method, you need not to create that data again and again. Okay, and it is by default available for all test methods. Okay, so what are the Apex testing best practices over here? So using @istest and @test setup annotations. Okay, using those annotations is one of the best practices. So create your own data. Create your own test data. Where you need to create that own test data in test class itself by annotating the method with @test setup. Okay. Test all logical branches. Logical branches in the sense positive scenarios, negative scenarios, restricted scenarios. So you need to test all the logical branches. So use test.start test and test.stop test. Okay, for testing a particular method, you need to use test.start test and test.stop test. Write clean, isolated, and independent tests. Okay, you need to write clean, isolated, and independent tests. Use assertions to validation rules. Validate results. Use assertions to validate results that you got, the result you got, and the expected result are correct or not. So these kind of assertions will be needed. Okay. Test for bulk, edge, and negative scenarios. So you should, if when you are writing a code, you should write for the bulk scenarios, and also when you are testing the code, you should test it for the bulk scenarios only. Okay. Test asynchronous code. If there are any asynchronous functionalities, like future epics, future methods, queuable epics or batch epics, you need to test those asynchronous code also. Okay, available, avoid see all data equals to true. So we can't, the writing see all data equals to true is not necessary. Okay, it is not necessary. You better avoid that. Okay, when you will be writing this test setup annotated, see all data equals to true. So it is not needed. Okay, that is that is not necessary. You should avoid that. That is avoiding that is the best practice. Okay. And the next one is use reusable test utility classes. Test data factory. We call that as test data factory. Okay, reusable test utility classes. You use test classes which can be reusable in the future. Okay, maintain high functional coverage, not just line coverage. You should maintain a functional coverage and not just a line coverage. If the line covers, if all the lines covers, you will get 100% of test coverage. That is not an issue. But not only that line coverage, you should maintain the high functional coverage. Okay. For doing a great jobs and projects, you have to maintain the high functional coverage. And this is about Apex, guys. This is about Apex triggers and testing of the Apex classes. Now let's go and create any one of the trigger. Okay. Let me close this developer console and data export. Let me refresh this. One second. Let me refresh this, guys. So let's create a trigger, guys. Let's create a trigger logic. Let me open developer console. So let me create a new Apex, not a new Apex trigger. Guys, you just create a new Apex trigger and select give name as a account trigger. Okay, give name as account trigger and select object account. Okay, give name account trigger and click on submit. Let me know after you guys have done. Okay. Give name as account trigger and select the object as account. Let me know once you have finished. Okay. Guys, done? Guys, done creating Apex trigger? Have you all created that? Everyone done? Uh, you do whatever you want, guys. So after submitting, you'll be opening the Apex trigger. Let me open my account trigger. So this is my account trigger. This is my account trigger. You people might get a trigger like this. The first line of the trigger. You people after creating this, you might get the first line of the trigger. Correct? So after getting that, I'll be performing a, let me open this update account industry update handler. Okay, let me open this account update industry account handler. Let me open this, go to classes and paste it over here. Yes, this is my class. Okay, here I have written a code, account industry update trigger handler. Okay, I am passing a input, account list as an input. I am passing an account list as an input for update industry method. This is my method. Okay, for every account, if the rating is hot, I am updating industry to banking. Okay, for every account record, if the rating is hot, I'm updating account industry to banking. Okay, now let me go here. Let me go to account object. Let me open this account 3 record. Remember guys, it is account 3 record. Industry is null. And let me keep the rating as hot. Okay, now it is banking. So already the trigger is there. Okay, already the trigger is inactive. Okay, so that after selecting rating hot, the industry is automatically updated to banking. Okay, so you have to write code like this, logic like this in a separate class and a separate method, and you have to call this over here. Okay, when I'm writing this logic, when I'm performing this logic before insert, whenever I try to insert, at the time of insertion. If the rating is hot, I'm updating the industry with banking. Okay, and also same like before update. Okay, I'm updating the industry with banking. Understand? So this is how we'll write trigger logics. So if you see the next method here, the accounts list of accounts is an input. Okay, list of account is the input, and list of contact. We are inserting a related contacts to account. Okay, we are inserting a related contacts to account. So for that, for every account, from input account list, one contact instance is created. For contact, last name is automated with triggers. Okay, contact account ID is ACC. This is the account object, account record, ACC.ID. Okay, contact list to insert. Contact list to insert dot add. We are adding this contact to contact list to insert list. Adding to that list and trying to update that list. Insert that list. Okay. We are trying to insert that list. Understand? Now, if you go and create a new account record, see what happens. Family name. Let me give anything. So, let me keep two triggers, guys. Okay, two triggers. Rating is hot and industry should be banking, and one related contact should be created. Okay, let me save now. Phone number is missing. I have a validation, guys, so don't worry. Account number. Okay, let me save this. So as rating is not, the industry became banking, and the related contact automated with triggers. Okay, contact is also created. Understand? Guys, understand how to create these type of triggers, how to write triggers, how to build a logic. Understand, guys? If you have any queries, please let me know and try to solve that. Try to write that logic. Okay. If you have any queries, please let me know, guys. Guys, do you have any queries? Understood how to write triggers? Okay. So as you guys have understood, so can you do the scenario? I'll give the scenario. Can you do a simple scenario, guys? Same like the second one. I have shown. So see here, we have created a contact record, right? So now The scenario is you have to create an opportunity record. Can you do that? You have to create related opportunity record for that contact. Can you do, guys? Guys, can you do that? Guys, respond. Can you do or not? Same like as I have created related contact, you people need to create related opportunity. Can you do that? Opportunity equals to new opportunity. Correct. Yes, correct. In the place of C, in the place of list of contact list to insert also, you just need to do what you just need to do is here in the place of list of object name, you have to replace contact with the opportunity. That is the thing you have to do. That is the thing you have to do. So guys, now you just do that. Opportunity records to be created. Related opportunities need to create. You have more 10 minutes time. You just create that and keep the code to me, okay? Try to create it, guys. Try to create it. From tomorrow I'll be starting with the asynchronous epics. I'm not going with the triggers anymore. Triggers are completed. Okay. I'm going with the asynchronous epics. So do this scenario today. Okay. Now you complete this scenario and send the code to me. I'll check. Okay. Understand? I'm giving you the 10 minutes time, guys. Work on that. Guys, are you doing? Guys, are you working or not? Okay, that's fine. So make that fast, guys. And also you have to perform it, like you have to attend the quiz. Okay, make it fast. After this, I'll be putting you a quiz link. Okay, you have to attend the quiz today. Guys, is it done? Guys, completed that scenario or not? That's fine, guys. Whatever you have written, you just paste that out. Okay, I'll review that. Okay, it's okay if you not completed total, but whatever you have completed, whatever you have written the code, you just paste that code in a chat box. Okay, guys, completed or not? Pranit, completed? Okay, okay. Public static void create related opportunity list of accounts. Okay. Opportunity equals to new opportunity last name. Uh, Pranit, it will not work, Pranit. Because I'll say why it doesn't work. What you have written is correct. It's perfect code. But see, let me first organize this. Okay, this is the code you have written. Correct. You have written the opportunity dot last name. Opportunity dot last name not. There is only one field, that is opportunity name. Opportunity dot name. Okay, you have linked the account ID, that's fine. And in opportunity, there are two mandatory fields. Okay, in opportunity, there are two mandatory fields, that is close name and stage name. Close date and stage name. You have to write that also, Pranit. What you have written is perfectly correct, but the thing is, the thing here is, that's fine, you have edited this, that's okay. And see here, OPP dot OPP dot, actually you have not written OPP here. Here you have written con, and here you are writing OPP. That's fine. OPP dot close date equals to date dot today. Okay, close date is mandatory, and OPP dot stage name equals to, it is also the mandatory field. Okay, what prospecting? Let's give prospecting. Okay, and let me keep semicolon here. That's it. Opportunity list to insert. So this is the name. See, Pranit, the list you have created is opportunity list to insert, and the list you are inserting is OPP list to insert. It should match, Pranit. It should match. Okay, these should match. You have to keep an eye on this. Okay, rest all is perfect. Perfect code. Okay, so the only thing is you are writing. See, you have written OPP list to insert in the if statement at the time of insertion. Okay, the list you have created here is opportunity list to insert. Correct? Both are different, no? You have to write both same. Okay, that same list you have created is inserting here. Understand? So make sure that small changes, other than instead of that small changes, everything is perfect. Okay. So let's run this and see what happens. Okay, let's run this. Go to account trigger, and I'll write over here. Okay, same class, Okay. What is the method name? Create related opportunity. Okay. Trigger dot new. Okay, let me save this first. Let me save this trigger first. Pranit understood the changes. Okay, the rest code you have written is perfect, but you have to change that minute changes. Okay, rest all is very perfect. So let me save this, guys. Let me refresh this once. It's only perfect because I used the code you showed us for contact. That's fine, Pranit. It's okay. That is the way you have to write. Okay. You have understood now, right? So you can write by your own. Okay. That's fine. That's not a problem. Let me open my account trigger also. Save. Okay, it has saved, right? So let me create an account object now and see account record now and see what happens. Okay, let me give name as Deloitte. Okay, and I have a validations, right? So let me give any phone number and it should be 10, guys. My validation is like that. Okay, so rest all as it is. Let me give rating as hot and save this record and see now what happens. Go to related. So first industry banking updated and go to related. Cancel this. So check for opportunities. Check for the related opportunity record that is created or not. Okay. So go to related. Check if the opportunities are created or not. We have given the name as new opportunity found and congratulations, right? So the opportunity has created, and after that there is another opportunity called Deloitte. That that is the automation that I have been set it before, guys. But the automation that we have performed here is new opportunity found. Okay, and the name is ACC name that Pranith have written. Okay, so after this, you have to with closing date. How can we get 10, 20 or 30 days of the police? Okay, today's date, if you keep any changes, you just go to your class, see date dot today plus you can give any of the number. Okay, so from today it will be 20 days after today. Okay. These syntax you can find in developer guide. And this is all about the triggers, guys. So you have to do. So I'll be keeping a quiz link for you. Just participate in that. Make sure everyone are participating in that quiz, okay? Because it is an important quiz, guys. Make sure everyone is participating. After you have done with this quiz, please let me know. Guys, whoever are joined in this meeting, you have to participate in this quiz. Lalita, you also have to participate. It's okay. Just go to Google form and fill on your details and participate in this quiz, okay? Guys, once it is done, please let me know. Okay, Pranit. So it is saying that you have already responded. Could you provide any link? Hemsai, I have kept that Google Form link, right? You just check. It is the same for you also. It is getting that you have already responded. Sir, is this the quiz you kept last week? Yes, Pranit. Yes. So what happened here is that your names are not your names have not recorded, guys, because you guys have not responded for that quiz, it seems. Okay. Whoever are registered for the EL program, those people have to participate in this quiz. This is the link for quiz. Guys, whoever are not participated in this quiz before in the last week, so please kindly open that form and participate in that quiz. Okay. Guys, please open that form and participate in that link, in that quiz. Everyone. So for whom it is saying I have all that you have already responded, that's okay. It's fine. You don't do anything. Okay. లాస్ట్ వీక్ చేశాను వేరే లలిత నువ్వు నాస్కమ్ ప్రోగ్రామా లేకపోతే ఈఎల్ ప్రోగ్రామా who are registered with the EL program, who the 17 people are there for the EL program, it seems. Okay. Pranit, you are from NASCOM, right? Lalita and Pranit, are you from NASCOM or EL? EL. Okay, Lalita, you do one thing. Okay. With a వేరే మెయిల్ తో చేశాను. Okay, that's fine. You have done right. You have done right, Lalita. Okay, nice. I think you people are 17 members with the EL program. Do you know that 17 members also? Sorry, do you know that remaining 16 members also? Okay, so that's fine, Lalita. You have completed, no? It's okay. Pranit, are you from NASCOM or EL? Guys, whoever registered from ఏం రాలేదు Revati, what do you like? What do you want? Okay, Mohan Krishna, are you from EL? NASCOM. So, guys, a small update. The people who have registered from NASCOM, they are not required to participate in this quiz. Okay, Revati, you check the chat box. What you are doing in the class? In the chat box, I have kept the quiz link. See, I have kept it now. Complete that quiz, guys. Guys, whoever are from EL program, EPBL program, okay, so those guys have to participate in this quiz. Understand? Those guys have to participate in this quiz. If you are not participating in this quiz, you are not getting a certification. Lalita, you said you are NASC, you are EPBL. I don't know that. You people have to figure it out. I don't know who are from NASCOM and who are from APBL. I came to know that 17 people are from EPBL. Oh, that's fine, Lalita. It's okay. So, guys, whoever are from APBL, please open that link and complete that quiz, guys, because that is mandatory for your certification. We are not providing a certification for you if you are not participating on that quiz. Okay. Okay, Lalita. That's fine. That's fine. I got mail from TeamSip saying action ASCOM short-term internship training session start from. So that means I'm NASCOM. Yes, Pranit, you're NASCOM. Mail send చేయండి మ్యామ్ మాకు రాలేదు. Revati, I have put the link in a chat box, right? You have to check that. You'll just click on that link and proceed with your quiz. Revati, click on that link and proceed. Are you from NASCOM or EL? I'm NASCOM. What I have to do for internship certificate? Neil Kumar. Now you don't want to do anything. You just wait for a second, guys. Whoever are from NASCOM, they are not required to fill the quiz form. Okay. Whoever are from EPBL program, they have to participate in the quiz for certification. Make sure you are participating for certification. But I would like to participate in the quiz too, ma'am, for my own understanding. Is it okay? You have already responded, Nas Pranit. You have already done that last week, right? Oh, yes, same questions are there. There is no difference. You have already participated, right? That's fine. Ma'am, if I complete the Salesforce course, then I get my certificate. Mohan Krishna, if you complete the certificate Salesforce course, you will get the certificate for sure. But before that, if you are from EL program, you have to complete this quiz. Okay. Guys, make sure you people are following the instructions. Guys, whoever are from EL program, please let me know. Those guys have completed the quiz or not. Guys, have you all completed? Okay, guys, then let's wind up the session. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye, guys. Yes, you are welcome, Pranit. Bye, everyone.